Hi.
Yo, hello there.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm currently wearing a shirt that has a sauce stain on it, but other than that, I'm fine.
I'm
Doing lovely.
loving that for you. Okay.
Happy this isn't a video interview.
Yeah, no pressure here. We're just on audio, so we can start with if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi, I am Alfie. I'm 19. Uh, I'm a good friend of Catriel. We went to high school together. We went to prom. I went to her prom together. Well, I transferred high school. Oh, you don't need all that. But we've known each other for a while, and I am an actor. I also do hair. Hair's my main thing, but I try to act. Obviously, in recent months, I haven't been able to, so hair's been more the thing. But uh, yeah, I'm here for an interview and I'm very excited for it.
So, how long have you been acting for?
I have been acting, I used to do like school stuff when I was a kid, but that didn't really do anything. I want to say like early high school, I started to do like some shows outside of school. Like I did some Agatha Christie plays, just local theaters, nothing big. Yeah, that's how I started.
What got you into acting?
My grandma used to take me to like Broadway shows all the time as a little kid, and she'd take me my whole family, like my little cousins and stuff, and they hated it, but I loved it. Seeing it was the most magical thing, seeing all the costumes and how they just exuded so much personality. Seeing Mary Poppins like as a child, just like it was one of the most exciting things that I think I experienced as a kid. And so as I got older, I really wanted to get into seeing how that worked and seeing what it's like to be part of that.
So, how do you train for roles? Like, how do you put yourself into your characters' mindsets and realities?
For me, and I don't know if I'm very professional with it, but I have my own little little method. I like to look up if there's been any other renditions of characters, famous plays and stuff. If you're doing something that already has existing characters, I do like to look up for reference, how other people have played them and different decisions other directors have made for characters. And I try to bring that a little bit in my personality. Obviously I go by whoever's directing it, what they tell me to do a little bit too, but it's good to add your own little thing. And after I have as much background knowledge about the character from reading the script or watching prior appearances of the character, I stand in front of the mirror and I make faces till I'm happy with them. And that part could take a while and it feels kind of crazy, but it's fun.
Do you have a ritual that you follow backstage?
Be respectful of everybody else. I have a tendency to be loud. Freshman year of high school, before I started doing outside stuff, I remember I went backstage, I yelled about one thing, and our teacher, when I say our teacher, Catriel, was in my school, so she knew her too. I came up on the stage, she was like, "You need to be quiet back there." And I was like, "Okay." And I went back there, and I don't think I've ever been loud backstage since. Other than that, I just like to think of what's about to happen. I focus on the script, but I think the most focus I am on is making sure that, I'm helping things run smoothly rather than being a hindrance.
What brings you to choose or accept roles? Is it the relatability of a character, or would you say it's the storyline?
I mean, I do like a good storyline. I do like relating to the character. I kind of just take opportunities when they come. I personally like to seek out characters that are a little bit more goofy and lighthearted and more comical relief stuff. Serious acting, I love it, don't get me wrong. But it's not what I personally love to do. I like to make people laugh a little bit. And I think when I have a script to read that is a good base, I think I'm really good at doing that.
What's your favorite aspect of acting, and what is your strongest skill performing?
I mean, if I must talk about myself more, I, I like doing comic relief roles. I've done Adam's Family actually a couple times. I was always good with Fester. Fester was really fun. Edna was another character. Anything that makes people laugh. I also do like that they had really strong messages. I think those characters, even though the overall point of them being there was to make the audience laugh and feel more engaged. My favorite aspect of acting, doing all this stuff to get ready for a show, like a lot of the shows I've done, I've also helped with the set design. I've been building stuff since I was a kid. I was a Boy Scout. So it was a lot of fun always getting ready for shows and helping the actual process of putting it on stage.
Do you prefer professional or informal work?
Informal. I'm definitely not a professional person. Something being on stage and performing is something I consider a good fun thing to do on the side, but especially now during the pandemic it's hard to do. So I went to cosmetology school. I do hair. To do professional work while trying to maintain another career, I always try to keep it informal.
Thank you for like a little insight to like your headspace. Acting is something that became something more on the side because you found a passion for like cosmetology and hairstyling and whatnot. So
Yeah, I
I'm
like
glad
looking good, girl. I don't always have sauce on my shirt.
period. That's what we're here for. As long as
Normally
you're
it's like
following
everywhere else. It's just right now it's contained.
as long as you're following your passion one way or another, like I'm here to support that. So
Thank you, Kat.
of course, Alfie. What do you believe is more important? A quality cast or a quality head director?
I think like a quality cast can outshine a shit director, if that makes sense. There can be bad direction, but as long as the actors are saving it a lot of the time, because sometimes that has to, because you're working with deluded, homophobic, racist women in high school who have tenured and won't be fired. And they say and do stupid shit. You and your much more liberal, not putting up with her racist shit friends have to kind of save the feeling of the environment for everybody so it doesn't feel crazy all the time. I don't even
I,
know if I should really talk about this director, but she was crazy.
you can talk about that if you want. You don't have to dox them or anything name wise, but if you want to talk about that experience, I think it's important for people to hear that,
Oh my
you
god.
know,
Well, so she was this lady, she during the show, we were doing Adam's Family with her. We had a girl who was like black playing Morticia, and she like made her paint herself white for one of the dress rehearsals. Like she did all her makeup. I was there with her. She's my close friend, and I was with her while she was doing her normal makeup, like how it should be for the show, because you really should not have people of color painting themselves white. It's very disrespectful, and it's not like Morticia isn't white, she's a ghoul. So it just ugh. And I remember she painted her face all beautiful for this Morticia role. She was exuding it. And then Zoe walked up and went, "Why aren't you white?" And she was like, "Why didn't you cast a fucking white person if you wanted somebody white, you dumb biatch?" Oh, we all had to tell her off because she was crazy. And we did Hairspray in high school as well with this director. And I went to audition for Etna. I was asking her about what she's looking for and what she would be interested in for that role. And she said, "Oh, I'm not really looking for a gay man. I'm looking for a real one." Like, you don't, you don't say that stuff. Because she also said in the same Hairspray production, she was like, "And if we don't have enough of you darker skinned kids, we could always tan some of the white kids up."
oh no.
Yes, she said that. She said that. It's like, it's insane because me and Catriel were in Brooklyn together. I live in a very conservative area now when this was happening, and currently I still do. And so it was just insane because I don't think I ever would have heard something like that in Brooklyn. You know what I mean? Even in our school, which was very conservative, I feel.
Hmm.
I don't think we would have ever heard something like that. It was crazy. It was crazy. We were miserable working with her, but the casts we always did our best. I think everybody was very professional, besides the director. So I sorry to give such a long answer, but I think the cast is the most important thing.
So, with your background mainly being on stage, would you consider shifting to screen if you like?
No, next question.
Okay. Period.
No, I'm sorry. That was a joke. I am a little of an insecure person. I don't like looking at myself on camera and shit. When I'm on like literal stage, I'm not worried about being like ugly and stuff. You know what I mean? But if I had to feel like I wanted to look like Scarlett Johansson, like no, that's not gonna happen. Like girly, like.
Hey, but you will have good hair. You'll have great hair. Do you have a favorite production or a favorite role?
Like I said, I've done Addams Family like a couple times, and when I did Fester, because I did Fester a couple times, just because like, who wouldn't want to cast someone round and goofy like me as that? I think it's the most fun role to do. I like being somebody who gets to guide a show. I liked the freezes that he got. He was very much a narrator, and as you can probably tell from how much I'm talking, I like to narrate.
Do you have a least favorite or most challenging role?
I was when Sir Henry in from I want to say The Hollow, I think it was, but it might have been a
Yeah.
different Agatha Christie book. I suck at serious things. It was an old man. I was 14 and I had to play an old man, hey, confidence booster right off the bat. um, but it was just weird to do something so stiff and bland. Like, I don't really think he added anything to the show besides he was rich and white and they were holding the party at his house. And that's a boring character, in my opinion. He can't be the main person in everything. And I'm actually really fine with that. But it's just not the funnest thing to do.
Has it ever been easier for you to act out on stage versus facing reality? But
Oh,
like, is
absolutely. Girl, I mean, homosexual and Christian Catholic school, right off the bat, not the most friendly situation. When I first started getting into acting, since I was young, I knew who I was. I was younger, and I was like, "Hey, Zac Efron, it," like, and that was really perplexing to a lot of the people around me. So when I got to be goofy on stage and dress up in costumes, even if it wasn't really the roles I wanted, because I'm very interested in stuff like drag. When I was in high school, getting to see Monique in that gorgeous dress, I was like, "I'm gonna get Amy the one in the gorgeous dress," like very childish. Not saying I can't be that at all, I know I can be, but it was just in that environment. I was just so happy to get, even like talking crap about Sir Henry right now, but when I got that, I got to do something that I'm interested in for once. Because for me, it was always, I had to do sports and I had to do, if actually that was really it. I had to do sports. So I had to be manly, and my dad would make me change the tires and the oil and the gas and help him.
did you ever face any obstacles, any criticism while acting?
There were still instances even there where the director was in full support of me and being very supportive to people who were queer, and she wasn't homophobic by any word of the mean, I want to say, but there were like other people around that kind of didn't get it, or even if they weren't open, like, even if they weren't that homophobic, they'd still ask uncomfortable questions because they didn't know better and stuff like that. It was a lot of different levels, but I want to say most sets that I've experienced it a lot, I feel.
What would you consider your highest achievements?
I mean, besides my many, many Tonys, a lot of the shows I've done or a lot of plays I've done, it was really because they needed somebody and it was very last minute. No, it is irresponsible to get somebody last minute, I feel always, but it's always, I feel very rewarding and I always think I have the most fun with it. Anything I get to help somebody, complete something and complete a project is what I'm proud of. It doesn't have to be like, it wasn't really, I don't think the stuff that I've really planned out is the stuff I'm most proud of, but like, whereas I got to, help people in tough spots.
And finally,
Yeah.
has the pandemic and recent circumstances of this year affected your view of acting?
I don't know if they've affected my view. I think I've watched one too many Zoom performances that felt just like a Zoom performance. I mean, I don't think this was like a strong year for acting. In my opinion, isn't the be all end all, but I just don't think it was a great year for that because of what was going on. And I don't think every year has to be, the most great, impactful, artistic year. Sometimes we need to be responsible and, quarantine to keep elderly people safe and people who, are just younger and susceptible, or just people in general safe. And although I will say our country's done a very bad job of letting people do that, I don't think this was my strongest year for acting, considering I don't think I've done any acting since like January, February. So yeah, I mean, it sucks, but hopefully 2021 has double the creativity to make up for what this year missed.
I think we're done here then. Thank you so
We're
much
done.
for
All right, bye. No.
thank you so much for coming out today. I mean, we're on Zoom, but I
Yeah.
would say thank you for coming out today.
Yeah, it was a very strenuous trip to get here, so I'm happy you're appreciative. For
Very
context, I haven't left my bed. Oh, and bye, professor, or whoever.